This is Trepp with a special guest podcast for the week ending November 12th, Navigating Challenges in Commercial Real Estate. I'm Martha Kocher with Trepp, a data modeling and analytics firm for the CMBS, Commercial Real Estate and CLO markets. I'm with Manus Clancy, Senior Managing Director, and Joe McBride, Head of CRE Finance. And joining us today is Douglas Wilson. Douglas Wilson Companies offers business workouts, receiverships, and fiduciary services. Doug, welcome.
Thank you for having me. Glad to be here.
Give us a quick overview of your background and what your firm does.
Thank you. My roots really are in large urban infill mixed-use development. I'm just not a paid consultant receiver. The journey really goes back to me being from Chicago, going to school in Colorado and staying there during the boom times of the 70s, and then leaving there in the early 80s when they were on the start of an energy collapse. I moved then to San Diego at age 34. I was fortunate. I had a mentor partner, 13 years older, that liked big deals. And we moved here, and San Diego was on the leading edge of some significant growth. And we bought a block downtown. The centerpiece of that block was an elegant old Fox Theater built in 1929. We had entitlements to build 1.2 million feet of office, hospitality, some retail, and a large parking structure. What made that project intriguing is we learned the symphony was looking for a new home. So we actually charitably conveyed that elegant old theater to the symphony and built this 1.2 million square foot project around it. Our timing actually was very good. We were able to pre-lease after the office building. I was only 34 to 39, so I often say I was too young to know abject fear. But two things I observed. One, I got about 3 PhDs in development process. Secondarily, I also observed on a parallel time during the 80s in Colorado that I left, they were literally in an economic collapse, as was Texas and all of the West due to the energy collapse. So I observed the unpredictability and the impact on commercial real estate of economic cycles. All these people that were my buddies back in Colorado that I thought were young and rich and affluent and successful, they literally were in a market that they were breathing. They often said it was through a snorkel. So I learned in 1989 when I sold Symphony Towers to a pension fund and went on my own that I wanted to do something that most real estate developers didn't know, and that was how do you navigate difficult times? What is the strategy to get through down markets? I sensed there was one coming in California and the country, and I had a lawyer explain a remedy under a deed of trust for a commercial lender to put something in called a receiver, an agent of the court, to look after a broken project or a project that was in default. I did my own due diligence and quickly determined that it was really a localized mom and pop, not very sophisticated business. And I built a strategy to build much more of an institutional platform. One that would be, although based in Southern California, would have a national footprint, would handle all asset classes, build relationships with banks, pension funds, life companies, special servicers. And now I look back only 31 years later and have found we've done about 1,000 of those assignments in 35 states for about 15 billion of assets. So learned a lot of lessons. I also went back and have always maintained a private sector development business. And have built about $1 billion of projects, in and around San Diego. So we have today a very diversified real estate platform that is really built to be able to navigate successfully all cycles, because most of them are unpredictable. You don't know.
Doug, thanks. That's great. Thanks for the background. So for those of our listeners out there who may not be as in the weeds as we are or as you are, can you just give us a quick idea of kind of what it means to be a receiver? Like, who do you deal with? What role do you serve in the CRE space?
Simply stated, a receiver is always an individual. They're not a company or a corporation. And the receiver is an agent of the court. It can either be a state court or a federal court. But a receiver is someone that is, although oftentimes a lender will petition the court, that receiver actually is working for the judge and has a fiduciary duty to all the parties. And so the authorities stem from the court, and the possibilities of a receiver and the role you play are really very, very broad and depend upon the challenges or the opportunities of a particular fact pattern or the assets. It's a very powerful tool. Oftentimes a lender, they don't want to take possession of a property in a foreclosure. They may want to put a receiver in so they're insulated from title. So a receiver could deal with things as varied as environmental issues, completing construction, having access to various documents, financial information, with the real mandate in the goal fundamental is to preserve value for the parties and to enhance value, either through lease up, completing construction, and the like. And so the process we can get into a little bit later, but again, typically a lender, and that could be a bank, a pension fund, a life